Hey everyone, this is Danny Wade, DevNet Dan. I'm here with John Capobianco, and we're prepping for the co-stream we're having on Thursday, where we'll be looking at Merlin and how we can integrate the parser that I wrote for the Genie library. So you'll see here, I'm sharing out my VS Code, and we're using a feature called Live Share within VS Code. We actually just started playing with it today, and it's pretty awesome. As you can see here, John is typing, and you can see his cursor is green and his name pops up. But what we're actually looking at is his desktop and his VS Code instance. So any code that I change or that he changes is saved essentially to his VS Code. The cool thing is our GitHubs are associated with each other's. I guess I don't want to call it live share accounts, but our live share. So any changes that I make, those changes and the associated commit will be tied back to my GitHub, and same with John's. So this is just a quick example of the live share feature within VS Code that we're going to be using for the co-stream on Thursday. So another very neat feature that we found just as we were messing around is that you'll notice down here at the bottom, let me just expand it. You'll see John is a participant, and obviously I'm a participant in this live share. But you also notice there's a shared servers block where it shares localhost 8000. So if you're familiar with developing in VS Code, that you could do port forwarding, and you could look at your local hosts, whatever, 8000, 5000, whatever port that your application uses. So I've tried opening, his through my Firefox or my browser. I've tried getting into Merlin because he's running his Merlin instance in WSL on his laptop, because he's been developing this. And so I'll quickly switch over to Firefox here, and you'll see, I'm on my local computer running localhost port 8000, and I'm in the admin panel. And if you've tuned into any John's YouTube, his Twitter clips, you'll see all these, the different tables, and I can go in and change these, and that's all provided by this live share feature. So we're going to do just a quick example of how I can interact with Merlin, and John will be able to tell what I'm doing based on his basically his console access he has to the Merlin application. So John, if you want to just kind of guide me through, and we'll get
Yeah,
going.
yeah, that's great. So it's really neat. The geographic distance, I'm in Ottawa. I'm not sure where Danny's is, but he's on my computer, and I can't see where he is. So let's go to /on-demand with a capital O, capital D.
Okay.
And this gives Danny a bunch of buttons and input boxes. And just go ahead and learn something arbitrarily, Danny, and I'll try to guess by looking at my server logs what you've decided to learn. Now, Danny's going to learn something from the DevNet sandbox that I'm VPN connected to. So there's a lot of inception here going on where Danny's running automation through my computer against cloud networks. Okay, so I see the job has started and it's running here, and I should get a results page. The database has written, and it looks like he decided to learn config, would be my guess.
Yep. And I guess I didn't mention as a disclaimer, John, we're talking through a Discord video chat right now, and I've shared out the VS Code instance so that way he can see my screen, but he can't see my browser. So everything, we're kind of just winging it here, and so that's how he's able to guess, because essentially I'm using his local host to run this, to run Merlin. So just as a heads up.
So, Danny, why don't you hop over to the Changes Center?
Okay.
So that's /changes.
Okay.
And I have made two little changes in the background against the configuration. So why don't you try the learn config changes?
Okay.
And now you try to guess at what I just changed on the command line while you were talking.
Got it.
And this will happen in just a second, everyone.
And just so everyone John mentioned it. He's VPN to a Cisco DevNet sandbox, and you can see on my screen it's a Nexus 9K. My local host is not VPN'd at all. This is all running basically through his computer. So you'll see. So I can tell you, John, that you created VLAN 200. You named it Danny. You also created an SVI interface VLAN 200, just in a no shut state. Description Danny. IP address 192.168.100.100.
Isn't that incredible? And I think are there buttons on those tables, Danny, or no? Maybe not.
There are. And real quick, you also removed, or what was removed, 100 through 105, according to Merlin. But yeah, there are buttons.
Yeah, so the why the 100 to 105 changed is because that JSON value is now has a 200 at the end of it. So that's why it thinks it was removed. Yeah.
I see it here. Okay, so it says it was added. Okay, got it. But anyways, yeah, there are buttons, and these are kind of what I believe what you call your business ready documents that we could print off here.
And yeah, so you can save to PDF, you can print them, CSV files. Now, what's really neat is they come with datatables.net, so I didn't have to write any of those buttons. And we'll talk a lot about that Thursday night.
Very cool.
So Danny and I, we figured out, hey, we're both VS Code IDE users. Let's try this live share 10, 15 minutes later. Danny's actually running code on my server without a VPN, without anything other than the live share session. So we really are excited to share this with you and hope to see you Thursday.
Yeah, absolutely. And just kind of to wrap it up, I was able to download those changes into a PDF format locally on my computer. So if you're on the video, you can see that it's in my C users Danny downloads directory. So very neat stuff. And I hope everyone's able to tune in on Thursday. Like I said, we'll be doing kind of a co-programming, co-stream, and where I'll be introducing the parser I wrote, show lesson summary, into John's Merlin application. So if you're able to tune in this Thursday, October 14th, 8 p.m., probably be running an hour, at least an hour, maybe 2 hours. Really depends on how much we get into, but hope to see you there. Thanks, everyone.
Stay safe.